One-point perspective. The basics. Let's start with one-point perspective, which is the simplest and most straightforward form of perspective. What is one-point perspective? 1. In one-point perspective, all the lines in your drawing converge toward a single point on the horizon. 1. This is often referred to as the vanishing point. 2. Think of railroad tracks or a straight road disappearing into the distance. 2. The lines seem to get closer and closer until they meet at a single spot on the horizon. How to create one-point perspective. 1. Draw a horizontal line across your paper. 1. This is your horizon line, which represents the viewer's eye level. 2. Choose a spot in the middle of the line. 2. This will be your vanishing point. 3. Now, draw lines from the corners of your objects or shapes, like a square or rectangle, to this point. 3. These lines should angle toward the vanishing point. 4. The closer objects are to the viewer, the larger they will appear. 4. The further away they are, the smaller they get, converging toward the vanishing point. Tip. This is perfect for creating scenes like roads, railway tracks, and interiors like hallways or streets where everything seems to narrow down to one point. Two-point perspective. Introducing depth next, let's move to two-point perspective, which adds more complexity and depth to your drawings. What is two-point perspective? 1. In two-point perspective, you still have a horizon line, but this time, instead of one vanishing point, you use two. 2. This method is perfect for drawing buildings or objects viewed at an angle. 2. The lines of the object recede toward two vanishing points, one to the left and one to the right. How to create two-point perspective. 1. Start by drawing your horizon line across your paper. 2. Place two vanishing points on the far left and far right of your horizon line. 3. Next, draw the front edge of your object. 3. For example, start with a vertical line in the center. 4. Now, draw lines from the top and bottom of this line to each of your vanishing points. 4. This creates the sides of your object. 5. Repeat for the back corners of the object, making sure all lines converge correctly at the vanishing points. 6. This technique gives you the illusion of a 3D object with two sides receding into the distance. Tip. Two-point perspective is ideal for drawing buildings, street corners, and any objects where you can see two sides at once. Three-point perspective. Adding height and drama now, let's look at three-point perspective, which takes things to the next level, adding a vertical dimension to your drawings. What is three-point perspective? 1. In three-point perspective, you have three vanishing points, two on the horizon line, just like two-point perspective, and one either above or below the horizon line. 2. This third vanishing point gives your drawing a sense of height or depth, which is particularly useful for drawing towering skyscrapers, looking up at a building, or even aerial views. How to create three-point perspective. 1. Begin by drawing your horizon line, as usual. 2. Place two vanishing points on the left and right sides of the horizon line. 3. The third vanishing point can be placed above or below the horizon line, depending on whether you're looking up at a tall structure or down from a high vantage point. 4. Draw the basic shape of the object, just as you did in two-point perspective, but now the top and bottom edges of your object will also converge toward this third vanishing point. 5. As you draw, make sure all vertical lines are angled either up or down toward the third vanishing point. Tip. Three-point perspective creates a dramatic effect and is often used for towering buildings, cityscapes, or any scene where height and depth are important. Key tips for working with perspective. 1. Start simple. Practice with simple shapes like boxes or cubes before moving on to more complex objects. 2. Consistent vanishing points. Make sure that all lines that should converge, do so at the correct vanishing point. 3. Use guidelines. Don't be afraid to lightly sketch out guidelines and erase them later as they help keep your proportions correct. 4. Experiment. Perspective can feel tricky at first, but the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. 4. Don't hesitate to experiment with different angles and viewpoints. Conclusion. Mastering perspective. By understanding and mastering 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspectives, you open the door to creating more realistic and engaging artwork. As you move forward in your art journey, keep practicing and applying these techniques in your drawings. Remember, art is a process, and each step you take will bring you closer to mastering the techniques of depth and space. Thank you for joining me today. Keep experimenting with perspectives, and don't forget, the key to great art is practice, patience, and the willingness to explore new ideas. See you in the next lesson.